Hey roofing contractors, every roofer and their mama is trying to get in front of the same homeowners as you. So the market is saturated, right, with roofing contractors just like you trying to earn the attention of homeowners in need of a roof replacement. So what I'm going to be covering today is, in such a bloody red ocean of a market, how do you stand out? And what you need to do is what 90% of business owners do not, and that is to follow a powerful follow-up process and actually nurture your leads instead of neglecting them. And so my name is George Roros, and who the hell am I to tell you that? So I've helped companies from zero get to their first $1 million years, up to taking one company from $22 million in 2020 to $50 million in 2021 and beyond. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what a powerful follow-up process looks like and what our customers use to make sure that they stand out from the competition in their market and that they're booking the maximum number of leads into appointments as they possibly can. So if that's interesting to you, stick around. I have a little present for everybody at the end. So if you're interested in really beefing up your marketing, right, and the revenue you generate from that, stick around to the end of the video and I'll be talking about what that looks like. See ya on the other side. I'm going to jump on my screen real quick. Okay, y'all, so welcome to my screen. Now, before we dive into the content, I want to let you know I'm going to be splitting this up into two different parts, so two different videos. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Before we dive into the content itself, I want to do two quick things. First things first, I want to make a disclaimer. The follow-up process that we're going to be discussing today is for handling leads generated. It's people coming in and applying to work with you, right? Leaving name, phone number, email address, project information, etc. So if you're currently generating inbound calls, this will not be directly applicable to you. But if you are interested in me sharing our inbound call process and how we nurture those leads, comment down below and I'll make another video on that and post it here on the channel. Number two, I want to share a few quick stats with you around lead generation. And so quick stat time. Let's roll through those stats real quick and you'll see why these statistics are important in a second. So let's get through this. Number one, 60% of leads don't answer on the first call. You'll see why I'm saying all this in a second. Number two, making 6 attempts to call leads results in a 70% higher chance of getting that lead on the phone versus just one call. So you'll be talking to 70% more people by making 5 more additional calls. Number three, 78% of leads purchase from the company who responds the fastest. Number four, the difference between calling a lead in 5 minutes and 10 minutes is a 400% decrease in the chance you'll get them on the phone. So calling them 5 minutes later is a 400% chance decrease that you will get that lead on the phone. And this was done on a study with over 15,000 leads, so the data is pretty good. Number five, 90% of leads read a text message from a company within the first 5 minutes. And number six, 55% of companies make absolutely zero attempt to contact leads within the first 5 days of them coming in. Now, why I'm telling you this is because this data tells us a few things. First things first, in order to maximize the leads generated, we need to be persistent and we need to be fast. If we're not following up with these leads quickly, our competitors are going to steal them, period, no matter where you're bringing them in from. Number two, to stand out from a majority of our competitors, we don't have to do much at all. 55% of our competitors are not contacting their leads at all. So it's not that hard to stick out, because most business owners regularly neglect their leads and opt to try to get more leads instead of booking the leads they already have into appointments. Number three, the way in which we communicate with customers is much different than it was 20 years ago. So adapting to that is important. And to give you an example of neglect real quick, I want to tell you about an experience I recently had. So I'm shopping around to get my car detailed because it's dirty, because I eat too much food in my car when I'm driving around. But anyway, I signed up through 4 different detailing shops websites in the Utah area. And I just wanted to get them to contact me. They said they would contact me to give me a quote, right time to come in, all that sort of stuff. Do you know how many of those shops have reached out to me since I inquired 2 weeks ago today? And give you a second to guess. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a big fat freaking 0. Big fat 0. And I can guarantee you those shops are probably bashing their head against the wall, trying to figure out how to get more leads. When I can tell you that is absolutely not what they need. And that's what we do for customers, so it's probably counterintuitive to say, but that is not what they need. So pushing leads into a system that neglects those leads is like pouring water into a leaky bucket and then wondering why it won't fill up. This is a great way to burn cash and end up with pitiful results from your marketing efforts. And with that being said, let's look at what a good follow-up system looks like. So first things first, there's going to be two parts to any good follow-up system. One is going to be the manual follow-up process, and those are the steps that you and your team take to maximize the number of leads booked into appointments. Number two is the automated follow-up process. So automated communication should complement what you're doing manually. So complementing what you're already doing with your team on behalf of your team automatically to further maximize the number of leads that you book into appointments. So if you don't have the technical know-how to set up automated follow-up, not the end of the world. Having a good manual follow-up process will take you 80% of the way there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you at the end of the next video a super simple software where if you do want to set up an automated follow-up system, you can get that set up with a few clicks of a button already spelled out all the way for you. That's not going to be in this video, that'll be in the next. So again, if you're interested, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when it comes out. So with that being said, we're going to dive into what a good manual follow-up process looks like. And so there's three things that compose a good manual follow-up process. One, it must be fast, as we covered earlier. Two, it must be persistent. We need to follow up with these people consistently to make sure we're maximizing the number of people we get into an appointment. And then three, it must be repeatable, because if you're just throwing darts at a wall willy-nilly and you don't have a process in place, you're not going to be able to create the predictability that a repeatable system creates for your business. So what does fast look like? First things first is make sure to reach out to leads within 5 minutes of signing up. People have very short attention spans nowadays, and if you don't get to them fast, they'll likely move on to the next roofing contractor that they sign up for. If they're searching for your service on Google, they're going to be signing up for a bunch of contractors. So we've seen companies that we work with go from a 1-hour response time to sub 5-minute response times, and it increased the number of leads that they booked from 30% to 73%. So what that means is over 100 leads, they went from booking 30 of those leads into appointments to 73 of those leads into appointments with the same closing ratio. So you do the math there and tell me if that's worth it to do that. They didn't have to spend an extra dime to generate more leads. They just properly handled their leads, and it resulted in 43 more appointments. So with that being said, what does a persistent follow-up process look like? Just as the Harvard Business Review study that we referenced earlier recommended, you should be following up with leads a minimum of 6 times to maximize results. Now, our appointment setting team goes a bit beyond that with a bit more of an intense process so that we're able to book the maximum number of people into appointments as possible. So exactly what we do is this. We reach out to homeowners within 5 minutes of them applying to work with our roofers. If we don't get them on the phone the first time, we'll do a double tap, which just means we hit them up immediately after we get voicemail. Hang up, call again. After that, we still haven't gotten them on the phone and it's within a normal calling hour, not 2 a.m. We'll follow up a few hours later the same day. If it's too late already, we'll follow up the next morning. And then still, if no appointments booked, we'll follow up an additional 10 times or once a day over the next 10 days. So we're doing 13 touch points manually via phone in order to maximize the number of people we book into appointments. Now you may be thinking, hey, that's way too aggressive, but guess what? The people who actually want to work with you will appreciate it, that you're actually following up with them to try to help them on the problem that they inquired about in the first place, which is getting their roof fixed. And the ones who don't opt out really quick and stop clogging up your pipeline instead of just sitting there and collecting dust. So you and your team can then focus only on the leads that you actually have a chance of closing as opposed to somebody who came in and isn't actually interested. That's the motto we take, and that's the theory that we follow. And lastly, what is a repeatable process? Like, systemization is absolutely key here. So if you've ever had 2 different salespeople set appointments and have gotten completely different results, or maybe you've been setting appointments yourself and you'll get different results day by day, week by week, and they seem to be inconsistent, it likely means that your appointment setting process has not been systemized and scripted. Plain as day, it's not something too difficult to do either. So having an appointment setting script that you and your entire team can follow alongside a powerful automated process, a manual follow-up process as you scale is going to be key to getting consistent results. So again, I promised you guys something cool at the end of the video. This is what it is. So if you want access to the exact scripts and processes that we use and a step-by-step breakdown of that script and why we say each thing that we do say to book more roof replacements into appointments yourself, what we've done is we set up a free training. And if you want access to that, all you have to do is click down in the link below and get signed up for that training. Again, it's absolutely 100% free. And when you sign up, you'll get access to the exact script and script breakdowns we use to train our appointment setters to book more leads into appointments than our clients have ever seen before. So if that's interesting to you, the link is down in the description below. Go ahead and click that link. You can go get signed up there, and it's again 100% free of charge. So that's it for today. We just wanted to cover again what a good manual follow-up process looks like. In part 2, we're going to be going over what a good automated follow-up process looks like and what you can do to automate that without too much technical work. So again, my name is George Roro, CEO of Volume Up Agency. Hope you leave today 1% better than you were when you came in. And then I hope to see you all in the training. Talk to you soon.